Previously on The Walking Dead.
I have no doubt in my mind, and I will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this belief. I will wipe over this grave and I will kiss it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would wipe over his grave to seek closeness to Allah Azza wa Jal. I would wipe over his grave and I would also kiss it. Now, if I was there and someone did the same, I wouldn't call it shirk. The grave, if I was there and he was in front of me, I would wipe over it to seek blessings. I would, wipe over my clothes, or I wipe over my face, and I would kiss it. Say what you want. Say what you want. Call it shirk. We've got the book, منهج السلف في فهم النصوص بين النظرية والتطبيق. And this is written by Sayyid Muhammad bin Alawi al-Maliki al-Makki al-Hassani. Okay? And he is a khadim al-ilm.
Here comes a new challenger!
Khadim al-ilm. Oh, wow. Okay. He's a khadim al-ilm. He is a servant of knowledge. طيب, Rawafid call themselves Ayatullah.
There was a famous scholar, I think he lived in Mecca, right? Sayyid Muhammad Alawi al-Maliki. Very revered by the traditional camp, that you accused him of committing blatant shirk, so to speak.
This is the guy Bro Hajji quotes.
Sheikh Alawi Maliki, Allah yarhamu. I studied with teachers who, in front of my own ears, they called him the caller to
paganism in our times.
Some of the
greatest ulama
of the late 80s, early 90s of the Salafi da'wah had him banned from preaching and teaching. One of them spoke to the king, King Fahad, to see if he could be put on trial for
heresy to the level of execution,
because he's calling for the worship of other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
He is the Amr ibn Luhay of our times.
Amr ibn Luhay was the one who began
idolatry
in pre-Islamic Arabia.
Look at the shaytaniyah. Look at the shaytaniyah of these du'at ila abwabi
Jahannam.
Donkey from Birmingham.
The Shaytaniyah trickery. The satanic tactics of the callers to the gates of the hellfire.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Let's respond to this Ruwaybidah, this Jahil al-Murak, this miskin here. This video here, he claims that Imam Ahmad, he was he had another fetish. He washed the shirt, the qamis of Imam Shafi'i and drank the water to seek tabarruk. Tabarruk means to seek blessings, right? He says that, this is super Salafis would regard it as shirk. These buzzwords and making this drama and him waffling the whole time, for hours. He's trying to appeal to these masakin who have worse understanding of the deen and Arabic than himself. Otherwise, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah, criticizing him, being critical, criticizing the da'wah, it's nothing new. We don't need this miskin Ruwaybidah new kid on the block.
Step by step.
Let's continue.
Okay, what did Imam Ahmed also do as well? As you can see on screen.
As you can see on screen, yeah. All right.
We've got the book, منهج السلف في فهم النصوص بين النظرية والتطبيق. That the manhaj of the salaf, they keep saying manhaj of the salaf, but the manhaj of the salaf to them is basically the Najdi da'wah, which the manhaj of the salaf is free from. Okay? Manhaj generally speaking.
Yeah, Allah, this guy waffling so much.
Yes, they might agree with the manhaj of the salaf in certain regard, but to say that what they are upon is the manhaj of the salaf, no, it's the Najdi da'wah. And this is
no, manhaj salaf is what this Khurafi, Sufi, Bro Hajji is upon. Kissing, and tomorrow he's going to say he's going to lick graves. Pay attention what Brother Hajji is now quoting.
On screen. He mentioned that Imam Ahmed, okay.
Ahmed and he's not going to read it anyway. He's just going to summarize it and then pay attention.
Imam Ahmed used to do ghusl of the shirt, okay, of Imam Shafi'i He used to wash his shirt, his qamis, and he used to drink the water from the ghusl.
Ooh. That sounds like some proper Rafidi Karbalite Kabbalah ritual, isn't it? I swear they do this stuff. They lick, in Iran, there was this one preacher, he said, you take the socks of the zuwar, of the pilgrims, they're a bit salty. A'udhu billah. This masakin, these Arab rawafid, they're the, you know, the dhuyul, adnab of the Iranian rawafid. They take the socks from the zuwar for the pilgrims, put water in it, he said, do it. There's supposed to happen and drink it, because it's blessing. These are people who walk to Imam Hussein. No, same fetish, Sufiya, rawafid, khurafiya. So this is what is attributed to Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad washed the qamis of Imam Shafi'i and drank the water. All right, go on.
Of Imam Shafi'i. Subhanallah al-Azim.
Subhanallah al-Azim. Subhanallah.
If this honoring of the people of knowledge, meaning he's honoring Imam Shafi'i by washing his clothes and drinking the water.
Look at the shaytaniyah. Look at the shaytaniyah of these du'at ila abwabi jahannam. The shaytaniyah, the trickery, the satanic tactics of the callers to the gates of the hellfire. First they bring some weird Rafidi-esque, Rafidi-like ritual. And then they say, if this is done by Imam Ahmed for Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmed fancying to drink, the sweat, mashallah, of Imam Shafi'i, then, ya salawat, subhanallah, min bab awla. What? What should we do now, min bab awla?
From basically the washing. Okay, so he's washed it, and the water that is coming from this qamis, he's drinking it. Okay, he said,
he's drinking it. Look, so with passion.
Well, what about those of the Sahaba?
What about those of the Sahaba? You see, this is how they open. This is how the Qubooriyya and the Khurafiyun and Ahlul Bid'ah wal Dalala wal Zandaqa. This is how they open the gates to all these khurafat. This is how they gather their peers. This is how they, turn themselves into peers. And they gather their murids, the masakin, the gullible, the weak-minded around them. They say, look, here, I have evidence for you. Imam Ahmed, drinking the sweat of Imam Shafi'i, tabarruk, qurbatan ilallah. MashaAllah, subhanallah. So if that's fine, then drinking from something that I as a Sufi peer claim I have fulan piece of cloth or fulan relic of the Sahabi or of the Prophet, then as well we can claim here, although from the Prophet it would be permissible, of course, tabarruk of the Prophet is allowed, but obviously most of these things are khurafat, and the Sufis that they claim they have relics of the Prophet, they are not proven. But anyways, this is how they open the door, the gate for all these khurafat.
كيف بآثار الأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام. And what about the relics and the athar of the prophets?
This is exactly how they justify licking graves, kissing graves, and so on and so forth.
Peace and blessings be upon them all. To add further evidence on top of this, okay?
Now, before we go to add further evidence, we're going to get to this. Let's now go to who he quotes it. The Sufi of Hijaz. This is the guy, bro, Hajji quotes. Ibn Alawi al-Maliki died in 2004 and is of Moroccan origin. He claimed to be of prophetic lineage. Like the Rafida, the Sufis often wear green scarves and don titles such as Sharif and Sayyid, letting everybody know that they are of a noble caste. A bid'ah, this is a bid'ah introduced by the Rafida and later Sufis, and it has no origin in the Sunnah. And most of the Sufis in the Rafida that claim to be from Ahl Bayt is all khurafat, including the Arab world. You can do your own research. I remember how a sheikh told me, forget about the Ajam world, Iran and Asia, subcontinent. In Lebanon, I was an eyewitness sitting in front of the sheikh. How he told me that in Lebanon, till today, and in Egypt, you can easily fake this ansab. Easily ansab, this lineage to the Prophet ﷺ. And the Sufis are known for this, just like the Rafida. So this Muhammad ibn Arabi al-Maliki was a Sufi. And he was one of the callers to shirk in Hijaz in Saudi Arabia. And he's highly revered by the extremist anti-Salafi Brevi Quboori of the Indian subcontinent. The script Sufi, so there's a reason the script Sufi Hajji. And he himself has highly praised them. This Khurafi Sufi has praised the Birelwis. This Khurafi Sufi, by the way, he's the sheikh of the well-known, like this Zindiq, this Welsh Zindiq.
إنني أنا الله أقول للشيء إذا أردته كن فيكون فأطعني عبدي أهبك أن تقول للشيء كن فيكون ودي من أخطر ضلالات الجفري والصوفية.
This guy, Ali al-Jifri, the Yemeni Sufi, Hadramaut. And this Jifri is just one of the many students yani, who carry the fikrah, the aqidah, yeah, the framework of this Ibn Ali al-Maliki. By the way, from the things that Ibn Ali al-Maliki believed, they believe in the obligation of Mawlid al-Nabawi. Obligation, wajib. They believe that the soul of the Prophet attends the gatherings, majalis of the Sufis like Mawlid. That's very important. Sufi believe that, Rafida believe as well. No evidence for this whatsoever. They quote Kitab al-Ruh on Fulan as if these are Hujjah, and as if this is Quran Sunnah. They need to believe this, just like the Rafida. They have strange, Shaytanic statements, these Sufi, wallahi. This is the Shaykh he quotes from, a known Khurafi, Quboori Sufi from Hijaz of Moroccan origin. This is his Hujjah. It's an alarm sign for us that if he quotes this Khurafi, طيب, did you realize something? Did you realize that this Hajji dude, when he was reading here, neither this Alawi al-Maliki nor al-Hajji said a word about the authenticity. And normally, at least they try, they try to make up something. He didn't say a word about the authenticity of this qissa, of this fairy tale, of this story. And you know why, brothers and sisters? That this is not authentic. It's inauthentic. This is a flimsy historical report. This is why this Hajji guy didn't even mention anything about this authenticity. And now look at the screen. I've got something else. This is esheikh.com. This is a fatwa. Now listen to the question. Is the report on Imam Shafi'i seeking tabarruk with the shit of Imam Ahmad? Look, it's the other way around now, yeah? Is the report of Imam Shafi'i seeking tabarruk with the shit of Imam Ahmad authentic? This report was said to be mentioned in Manaqib Imam Ahmad of Ibn al-Jawzi and Tariq Dimashq by Ibn Asakir. Moreover, there is the opposite report said to be mentioned in the first chapter of the book Al-Usul Al-Arba'a fi Tardid Al-Wahhabiyya, where it says Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal put Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi shit into water and drank the water to get blessings. This is where this Alawi al-Maliki, the Sufi Khurafi, and the Sufi Khurafi Hajji, bro Hajji got their stuff from. Is the second report where it is Imam Ahmad who seeks tabarruk mistaken? Listen to the answer of this Hajj Jibril Haddad, a hardcore Quboori Batini esoteric Sufi. Listen, he says Ibn al-Jawzi considered it authentic, al-Dhahabi not, and Allah knows best. There's no basis for the report that the act was done by Imam Ahmad with Imam Shafi'i's shirt. So here's the Sufi who is refuting Sufi bro Hajji and Sufi the Alawi al-Maliki, and he says there is no basis for the report that the act was done by Imam Ahmad with Imam Shafi'i's shirt. Rather, the reports mention it was a Shafi'i with Ahmad's shirt after the ordeal of the letter at the hands of the Mu'tazila government, and Allah knows best. Ya Salam, Ya Allah. You know what? One brother said something very beautiful. The brother said, imagine how foolish one must be, like these real extremists, these Qubooriya, these grave worshippers, to believe and want us to believe, based on these flimsy narrations, that two of the great scholars of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah had nothing better to do than to drink the sweat of each other's shit. Allah musta'an.